In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian. Because the work is so important.
That's right, everybody. The work is so important. So let's get to it. It is time for episode 377 of the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. As always, I'm joined by my friend Brian. Brian, how the hell are you this Sunday night? This first, I guess, Sunday night of fall. The clocks fell back last night. We got an extra hour's sleep. It is the second day of No Nut November. It is Movember. So many things going on this month. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in myself. I've already tapped out of No Nut November.
How many hours did you make it this time?
This afternoon. I just
that's longer than last year.
Last year, if I remember correctly, it was November 1st, about 8 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
When it was just a cool breeze. The lady had left the windows open, a cool breeze blown by. Here was me in my nightgown with the the silky material. Just it was just enough. This year, I really tried my hardest. The problem was I went down to get the mail today, picked it up, and it was the Sears catalog. It was the Sears catalog, which, listen,
legendary.
Of all people, once you get to the undergarment section, all bets are off.
Yeah, you're not gonna survive that. You're not made of stone. I mean, come on.
I'm going to blame the USPS. Ron, every week you ask me how I'm doing. This week, we're going to flip the table. I'm going to ask you how you're doing.
Doing well. As you know, was on vacation this past week. Just got back to the States yesterday. Celebrated my 12th wedding anniversary on Friday on Halloween. So had a very enjoyable day. I'm sure we'll talk about that later on in the episode, but doing well. And great point, Billy. The old title belt does look very nice on the wall above my head. The only thing that looks better, the new title belt, which I missed you, baby. I missed you while I was away. I didn't want to get caught up in any TSA issues, so I didn't bring the belt with me. Thank you, Dom, for wishing me happy anniversary. Appreciate that. But look at that thing, Brian. It's as beautiful as I remember it. Just like you, as beautiful as I remember.
I expect in a short few months, about 4 months from now, that title belt will be gracing the Whitey McIvory Tower. It will be within my grasp. It will be in my home. I think your lady has suffered for way too long, being, forced into the proximity of a title belt for a podcast. It's time my lady gets to suffer. She needs to carry the weight, that burden of having to look at her husband walk around the house with a wrestling belt around his waist, or as you like to do it, flapped over. That's the new style. I like to go Ric Flair style, just a woo with it wrapped around. But most importantly, I think it's time we get into the show.
All right. Well, then let's start it off, as we always do, with Drink of the Week.
Drink of the Week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud.
Drink of the Week.
Cruncher.
Who's?
Drink of the Week. Drink of the Week.
Oh, that's
Drink of the Week.
If I move my, hold on, maybe I need to do this, like maybe just bring my microphone down here so that way you can see all my title belts throughout the show.
Also, we don't have to see your face as well because you're so far away from the camera. I believe it actually makes the show look more aesthetically pleasing.
Touche. What are you drinking this week, Brian?
All right, Ron. I am drinking from the kind folks over at Oxford Brewing. They sent me over a 4-pack of this Lupolo dry hopped lager. This is the first Belgium-style Pilsner made in America. It is dry hopped. They seem to be using Pilsner right here on the can, but then they also call it a lager. So clearly they're confused. I'm going to take some sips in a moment.
Okay.
But more importantly, what we do have to talk about is first this lovely pint glass. Look
Oh,
at
it's a
this
beauty.
beautiful thing. Look at this beautiful thing. By the way, my
Available
lady
at
hates this.
cultofronandbrian.myshopify.com.
And it's a high quality drinking vessel. Ron, Lupolo is an unfiltered dry hopped pilsner brewed with European malts and hops. It's named after the Italian word for hop. This Italian style pils is an homage to the hop forward pale lagers that are produced in Italy. Coming in with an ABV of 5%. Beer Advocate gives it a score of 90. You know,
Ooh, that's a high one.
once you hit the high 80s, you're talking an
Got to be
elite
quality.
drinking experience. This is Lupolo from Oxbow.
All right. Sip it. Is it going to be overly hoppy? Is it going to be too hoppy? Is it going to be too piney? I can't tell yet. He's contemplating. He's taking another sip. What will the verdict be on this one? 2 sips.
I'm going to
Everybody
say
knows the
this.
rules.
I'm going to say this. Incredibly tasty.
Oh,
I would say that if you put this in a frosted beer glass, this
okay.
would be a crushable beer. This would be a crushable beer.
Nice.
It's a straightforward pilsner. But it's not too crisp or dry. There's no bite to it. Definitely not too hoppy. This I actually truly enjoy. I give
Good.
this 5 stars. 5 stars,
Nice.
Ron.
Appreciate that.
Which leads me to one question I get to ask every week, and I look forward to it because it makes me see you in a whole new light. Ron, what are you drinking?
So this week, Brian, I bring to you from the islands of Aruba, from Balashi Brewing. This is their Magic Mango beer, as refreshing as an Aruban trade wind and as easy and mellow as the island lifestyle. This enchanting brew is a hoppy pale ale balanced with a subtle mango aroma, a smooth tropical beer to match those magical island moments. Clocking in at 5%. So again, another very crushable beer in the old school Ron and Brian drinking glass. Let's see.
Take a sip.
Definitely getting the notes of the mango right off the bat.
Taking a sip.
Oh, tasty. Very tasty.
Walk me through your experience.
I mean, you definitely get a little hoppiness, you get that distinct ale flavor, and then you get a nice smooth mango finish. I know smooth mango finish was one of your nicknames in college, but it also very much describes this beer. I have to admit, I tried the regular Balashi lager when I was down in Aruba. Was not a big fan. Took a chance on this Magic Mango, and it delivers. I'm going in for another sip.
Take another sip, my friend. You have earned it. You're the champion. You get to take as many sips as you want. If you wanted to, theoretically, you could take one entire episode of just you sipping your drink of the week.
But I don't think I'll do that this week. Instead, let's keep rolling with Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
You know, there's a couple things. I had an interaction with an individual. I would call this person a friend.
Okay.
However, have you ever had an interaction with a friend that just so disappointed you, so broke your image of this person, so forced you to question your own judgment in terms of the people that you associate with?
Right. It made you question not just that individual, but it made you question yourself, your
Myself.
judgment, who you align yourself with.
Yes. Recently, I had the opportunity to work Chiller Theater, a New Jersey horror slash entertainment convention. It takes place, usually the weekend before Halloween, sometimes 2 weekends before Halloween. Was asked to keep a good friend of the show, Alan Robert, bass player, songwriter extraordinaire of the band Life of Agony, as well as the artist. He's put out the Beauty of Horror coloring series, sold, I think it's well over 500,000 copies of those books. Oh, no, it's amazing.
That's great.
How he's done there. So he signs up for Chiller when, it works within his schedule. He reached out to me to say, "Hey, do you mind coming up, keeping me company for the weekend? It's more than one person can do. Can you keep me company?" I said, "Absolutely." Didn't even hesitate. 100%. However, what it did was it allowed me to see other people, to see how the level of care and dedication, loyalty that I provided Mr. Robert over the weekend, the attentiveness, the "Hey, do you need something to drink? Hey, let me help sell some of your books and whatnot." The
I mean,
I
you're a
also
consummate professional, and it's always good
I
when you get
try.
to show that off.
I love doing the merch thing. I love doing the merch thing. So this gives me an opportunity when, there are no concerts that I can work. It can also, the people watching, the people interactions, it's my thing. But apparently it's not everybody's thing. I don't want to name names. I don't want to point fingers. It's not who I am. But a friend of mine, I'll call this person a friend of mine also had the opportunity to also work Chiller Theater in a different room, working with a different celebrity. May have been Dave Davies of the Kinks. You're a
Oh
big Kinks
yeah.
fan.
Yep.
So a friend of mine, I don't want to name his name. I
No.
don't, because I don't want people to sit there and think differently of him. My friend, had said to me, in the days leading up to it, I'm going to be there and I'll be working. I was like, okay, I got it. Happy. We'll see each other.
Sure.
The Saturday of Chiller Theater. It's the big day. So the Chiller
I would
Theater
think
is
so. Yes.
it's Friday evening from 6 o'clock until 11. Saturday 9 a.m. until I think it's 6 o'clock, and then Sunday is 10 a.m. until they say 4 o'clock. People usually
But people
leave.
break down early. Yeah.
Correct. They're broken down early. You know the deal.
Yeah.
So on the Saturday, if you're working there, you want to get there before the crowds do. People will buy the VIP ticket, which allows them an hour early entrance into the convention. Normally it's a 10 o'clock start, but they'll buy. So you want to be there at your table, all set up with your wares. And listen, I have no skin in the game. I'm just here to help a friend of mine, but you
Right.
want to support him. This friend of mine, upon hearing that there was a 9 a.m. start on the Saturday, this friend of mine decided he was going to show up, or he thought he was going to show up at 2 p.m. 5 hours late after the mad rush of people, missing out on the service that he was.
I mean,
to
bank
be
hours, as
provided.
people used to call it.
Yeah, but this is I saw it as dereliction of duty. Showed up at 2 o'clock and acted surprised that he had let down the people that he was working with, that he had let down Mr. Dave Davies of the Kinks, and let down everybody else who had made a point of being at their station at 9 a.m. Seemed confused that this was, I could belabor the point.
You
But
might.
say, let's just say that the nickname 2 p.m. Billy now exists for a reason. So when you hear, and you can tell me, you're the champ. You may decide this one.
Sure.
Is it Billy 2 p.m. or is it 2 p.m. Billy?
I like 2 p.m. Billy. It kind of because you're already Brian 2 count. I feel like
Sure.
Billy 2 p.m. would be too close to that. Like
Okay, so 2 p.m. Billy is the
Brian
case.
Two Count is a nickname of adoration.
Sure.
2 p.m. Billy is the derisive nickname that it should be.
Understood. And here, might that friend have also brought lunch for you?
Lunch at 2 p.m.
Literally stopped off at a Wawa. Like he's so late. Like, have you ever had that coworker that shows up, 10 minutes after the day starts, but like, they've got their coffee from Starbucks and like,
Sure.
a breakfast sandwich because they had time to go to Starbucks, but they didn't have time to show up with it. This dude actually, and I don't want to name names.
No,
It's beneath me. Literally had the nerve to sit there and be like, you know what, Dave Davies can wait. I'm going to stop off at Wawa and get a sandwich.
I'm going to get a gobbler because it's Thanksgiving season at the Wawa.
So disappointing. It's infuriated me since. I can't, and I don't know how to get past this. So this friend of mine, I've interacted with him since, and he acts as if this was this no sweat off his back. Life goes on. And I don't know how. Maybe you can give me some advice. Like, how do I get past this? Because I look at him, and every time he talks, I just sit there and think to myself, 2 p.m. You're going to show up at 2 p.m. You're going to 2 p.m. What time do you want to get there? And it's I don't know how to get past this. Yeah,
Understood.
2 p.m. Billy. 2 p.m. Billy.
Maybe we'll discuss this offline so we don't belabor the point too much.
Okay, that works. Ron, what's bothering you?
My beef, Brian, is my return trip from my vacation yesterday. We were on the beautiful island of Aruba for the week. Our flight supposed to take off at like 2:00 to get us home around 6:00. It's the flight that was supposed to come from Philly down there, so we would have a plane delayed for some reason. We get a text in the morning. Oh, it's going to take off. It's not going to be 2. It's going to be like 2:30. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, it'll be 2:45. Okay, then it's 3:45. So, but we still, because of the Aruba airport rules, had to get there at our designated time, which was 11 a.m. So we drive, we get there. I will tell you, nothing against the beautiful people of Aruba. Shit all to do in their airport. like a couple of small bars, no shop. Like it's like, and so many flights because our flight was delayed. Now we're in a gate with people that are flying back to Miami. Just a packed crowd. No explanation as to why it's delayed. No one can tell us anything. If flight finally gets there, we fly. The pilot's like, all right, I'm going to try and make up some time. I'm going to try and land a little before 8 p.m., get you to the terminal, get you home, all that. So we land at, I don't know, it was about 10 of 8. And we're sitting there. And the pilot comes up. He's like, well, there's a plane still at the gate that we're supposed to go into. And that plane was supposed to push off, but they haven't pushed off. So we sit there for like 20 minutes. So then they get us up to finally up to the terminal. And they're like, all right, have a great day. Go down to get the baggage. An hour, Brian. An hour. We are waiting for our luggage to come out. We left our house at 10 a.m. yesterday morning, walked in our door here in beautiful Elkins Park at 10 p.m. last night for a 3.5-hour flight, 12 hours of transportation time for a 3.5-hour flight.
Unbelievable. Question for you. Well, obviously some of the difficulties were here. Was there any way to kind of tell from your experience, was this all related to the U.S. government shutdown, the lack of support on the air traffic controllers, the TSA, the FAA, or was this, or were you able to pick up that some of the delays had to do with the infrastructure of the Aruba airport?
I don't think it had anything to do with Aruba. And I will say we had a very pleasant experience getting into the Aruba airport. Now, mind you, we did pay for the VIP departure service because when we got to, and thankfully we did, because when we got to the airport, I would say there was a line of about 100 people just waiting to get into the terminal. Like, forget getting in line for the airlines and everything else. So we were like, excuse us, we're VIPs. So like, oh, well, we can take you in right now. And we get our own
Sure.
little, our personal attendant that took us to
Sure.
get the bags checked in, took us to security. You go through U.S. Customs and Immigration right there in Aruba, which is
Yeah.
nice because then you don't have to deal with it when you get home.
Sure.
But from what I can tell, probably either, I don't know if it was a crew issue, if it was an air traffic controller issue, but it was just frustrating because it wasn't a weather
Yeah.
issue. That much I can tell you. And no one
That's
in
a
America
shame.
seemed to know what the issue was either.
That's a shame. I've heard nothing but anytime I've spoken to anybody over the past month who has been flying, I've not heard one good story. My niece did some traveling. Somehow was going from the East Coast to Denver, ended up in Dallas. I had somebody who was flying down to Florida. And what should have been a 2-hour trip suddenly became a 7-hour. So it just seems like and if anybody who's willing to listen to me, and that number is frighteningly larger than it should be. I have said for weeks now, the only way this government shutdown comes to a halt is when the pain level for air commuters rises to the point where
Right.
it becomes unbearable.
Well,
If
that's
the
what
air
happened.
traffic,
That's what stopped the last shutdown is when
yeah,
air traffic controllers just were calling out sick. And, I
yeah,
will say the flight down was fine. No issues there. I mean, going through security, there's a TSA guy there and, just trying to be nice. Like, hey, thanks for showing up today.
yeah,
Nothing. Just, all right.
yeah, fuck them all. Oh boy, what a frustrating times we each have. I want to say yours is probably more impactful to you. Mine was more emotionally destabilizing.
What I'm wondering is if maybe the pilot kind of took the same mindset as 2 p.m. Billy said, I
Right.
don't necessarily like, I understand I have an 8:20 flight, but what
Sure.
if I got there at say 10:30
Or
and just
later.
or later and just flew then?
And
As
just was
long as
like,
I
oh,
bring
yeah,
lunch for my co-pilot and the flight
sure.
attendants, everything
Oh,
should be forgiven.
it wasn't even the people he was working with that he brought lunch for. He brought lunch for people who were working in another
Oh,
room.
so
Oh,
basically, this guy, our pilot would be like, "Listen, maybe I show up at 10:30. I stop at the Wawa on Island Avenue before we cross the bridge, get into the airport, and I'll buy a sandwich for my buddy that flies JetBlue."
sure. Yeah. And then I'll hang out with him for a little bit before I actually go to my airplane.
Yeah,
That is
before the plane
exactly.
departs, because
Yeah.
what does it matter?
Correct.
All right,
And these are the people I call my friends.
understood.
It's really,
Understood.
really upsetting.
Next up, we have our stories of the week, the stories that we want to make sure that we get to, that we share with the good people out there. Brian, what is your story of the week this week?
Ron, listen, I have made it a personal mission of mine to pass the spotlight onto the dangers of the hotel industry. So many people out there think that it is just, a business that wants to make you comfortable, wants to make you feel safe and secure, while there is just piling up instances of the dangers of the hotel industry. Um, Ron, do you have a photo of Terrell Johnson?
I do, and of his lovely family.
Look at that lovely man. That is his wife. Those are his children. Those are his grandchildren. This former U.S. Marine and grandfather was boiled alive in a
Ooh,
scalding
Jesus.
hot hotel shower where the water reached 136 degrees, causing his skin to peel off his body, according to a disturbing lawsuit. Terrell Johnson, a 72-year-old Marine Corps veteran, had hopped into the shower at the Fairfield by a Marriott Inn and Suites in San Jose, California, after a 6-hour drive from Los Angeles to attend his granddaughter's college graduation. When his grandson went into the bathroom to check on him, he found Johnson unconscious, partially submerged in water, which was allegedly so hot that he could not pull him out without burning himself. The grandson went in there to save his panicked family members, then desperately attempted to perform CPR, but were forced to watch in horror as his skin peeled away from his body. According to the family lawyers in the filing, he was quote unquote effectively boiled alive. Santa Clara County medical examiner ruled Johnson's cause of death to be severe scalding due to burns on over 33% of his body. It is unclear how long he actually was submerged in the piping hot water, but according to the family, it had been only a short time. The distraught family filed the suit on October 15th against Fairfield by Marriott Inn, alleging wrongful death and negligent infliction of emotional distress. The suit alleges that the water pouring out of the shower was between 134 and 136 degrees, far hotter than the 120-degree maximum set by California's plumbing code for individual showers and tub showers. Ron, listen, I think we all put the key in the door, open it, put our luggage down, and say to ourselves, my God, I want to wash the dirt of the outside world off. And we just think we're going to be safe. This is the worst hotel shower since Psycho.
I would agree with that.
So people, be careful. Always test the water in your hotel shower, because sometimes they are not going to care for your personal safety and just turn the water way too hot. This reminds me of that scene in Halloween 2, where the day nurse is hooking up with the ambulance driver. So she decides she's going to turn on the hot sauna in one of the rooms. And while he's off fucking around, Michael Myers comes, and you see he just turns the hot water all the way off. And then when she walks up there, I think she, you could see she lets the towel drop down just to see a little skin, which we all know Michael Myers does not handle seeing naked women well. He just sits there and she starts dunking her head in this boiling hot water. By the time it's done, it's peeling off. Looked like Terrell Johnson. But I digress. Ron, what's your story of the week?
So my story of the week, Brian, it involves a Taiwanese airline by the name of Eva Air, or maybe Eva Air. Could be either.
Well, you're all about the airlines today.
Photo of one of the planes right there. This Taiwanese airline has apologized for requesting paperwork from an employee after her death. This involves a 34-year-old Eva Air flight attendant who died earlier this month after reporting feeling unwell during a flight. Days after her death, the airline texted her asking for proof that she applied for leave during the time she was in the hospital. Apparently, her family received that text. They had possession of her phone, and so they posted it on social media, resulting in a lot of online backlash, deservedly so, regarding Eva Air. Senior Eva Air had said the text was, quote, a mistake by internal employees. They told a press conference that they had personally apologized to the flight attendant's family for the error.
Okay. That seems a little insensitive, no?
You would think. You would think. I'm assuming they would know that one of their employees had died, especially since she seemed to get sick during a flight. Since 2013, Eva Air has been fined 7 times, mostly for offenses related to staff working overtime.
Yeah.
So what else?
That's just bad business. That's just bad business.
You work Chiller Theater. Any good stories from your time working Chiller Theater?
Not really. It was first. Honestly, Ruth's Chris makes a damn good steak. I'm not gonna lie.
Hands down.
It has become a Saturday night tradition with me and Mr. Robert. We make a reservation at Ruth's Chris. We split a porterhouse. He usually does a Caesar salad. I go with the wedge. We'll split a porterhouse, which I believe is the New York strip and the filet.
I believe you're correct.
And knocked that out. But the celebrities, the major names this year, it didn't seem like they went as large in terms of names. Obviously, I mentioned Dave Davies earlier. Randy Quaid was a big name this year. Morgan Fairchild, Donna Mills, Tara Reid, Jerry Lawler.
No big
Garrett
names.
Morris.
But yet you're saying no big names,
No.
but you are rolling off name after name after name.
Yeah. But listen, they're names, but they're not A names. Yes, Huey Lewis. I would say Huey Lewis was the second biggest name. In last year, I think the big name was Molly Ringwald, which that's a get. She does not do these things very often.
Okay.
Huey Lewis, I don't know if he heard a word all weekend long. From what I hear, he's got some hearing problems. And the cop from Die Hard, forgot his name already.
Reginald, the guy from Family Matters.
Yes, he was there.
Reginald
Lost a lot of weight.
Van
Looks
Johnson,
good.
I believe.
Something like that. Looks good. Lost some weight. And what I get a kick out of with Chiller is the drop from those names to like the other names, because like there were a couple, here's another one. Vito from The Sopranos. Did you watch? You never watched The Sopranos, correct?
Yeah, not really. That wasn't my thing. No.
So they had a storyline later in one of the later seasons where one of the mob guys he comes out of the closet because there's a scene where he is at what looks to be something that we would have referred back in the 70s as a gay bar, where he's wearing like a leather biker cap and he's wearing like leather, and he walks to some guy and he goes, "Hey, what does a guy got to do to buy you a drink?" And then he gets caught by two of his cohorts, and then it becomes a big story. Eventually he dies, because in the mob, you're not allowed to be gay.
Right.
Anywho, but he was there. He was walking around and selling bobbleheads of his character wearing the leather getup with the phrase on the bottom of it, "What's a guy got to do to buy you a drink?" Came close to buying it, but I don't think my lady would have let me in the house with it.
Well, hold on, let me guess. Let's see. How much would one of these bobbleheads go for? Because personalized bobbleheads, not inexpensive. I'm thinking $75.
I would imagine. I never looked. I did not look to see what he was selling them for.
Okay.
But it was funny because at one point he came into the room that we were in, and I had the sudden urge to walk up to him and ask him for a photo. Me and I were just like, yeah, you just can't. You just can't. You can't. And he's like, just because of the character, right? I'm like, yeah, because of the character that he played. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Because he was like, "Hey, what's a guy got to do to buy you a drink?" Literally. I didn't even pick up on that. But yeah, Banya from Seinfeld was there. I think, I wish them a good weekend on the way out.
Apparently, Steven Weber from Wings, I believe.
Wings, he was there. He was there. Yeah. Also, John Cusack they had last year. Like last year, I felt like they had some
that's a big
bigger
name.
names.
Yeah.
Like John Cusack was a big name. This year seemed, but I'm going to tell you something. It's a fun weekend. It's absolutely a fun weekend. What shocks me so much is the amount of disposable income that attendees have, because it is literally I don't want to say a cash cow, but it's a cash grab. You've got celebrities sitting at tables. Some of them will not give you the time of day unless they've been given the go-ahead by their handler that you have paid for a photo, a personal photo, an autographed glossy photo. But like they won't even acknowledge you. They won't talk to you. You don't waste their time. Sometimes it is like, also Corey Feldman was the big name last year also. See, I don't know why I'm thinking about last year so much. But where it's just a factory, like there's constantly a line, and you've got to just sit there and sign. You get up there, and they take your photo, and then you're just shuffled. You're just shuffled out. There's no real moments for interaction or talk or whatnot, and it's like $75. You know what? Actually, I do have. Hold on a second. I have a list of the prices for the personalized photo ops. Do you want to review it or you want to move on?
Well, let's see if I can guess a few. Because I've seen it on the other end where some of our hotels have hosted some of these conferences, and the amount of like rental and things that we're able to charge because they're charging these vendors that show up like a
Sure.
substantial amount for that booth space because they
Right.
know they can sell a few hundred photos over a weekend and probably clear 15-20 grand easily.
Correct. All right, here we go. A photo of Tara Reid and Mina Suvari, is that her name?
Oh yeah, from American Beauty and
Yeah.
American Pie also.
So Suvari and Reid, a photo of the two of them together with you.
Oof. I'm thinking 200.
150.
I almost said 150.
Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh, see now. See, here's the thing. I almost, and this is going to seem insulting when I first say this, I almost think of this as, do you do kind of like the OnlyFans pricing structure where you're either getting a few people for a large amount of money or you're pricing it lower to get quantity? I'm going 75 for Beverly D'Angelo.
Beverly D'Angelo is 110.
Okay.
Now,
which I don't think is unreasonable.
It's not that unreasonable, but it's also, I mean, that's Beverly D'Angelo.
Sure.
Randy Quaid.
Oh, see, Randy Quaid is crazy.
Fucking crazy and off the radar for the longest period of time.
But I can also see him as being a guy that would price himself relatively low as to show himself as like a man of the people. I'm going $50 for Randy Quaid.
130.
Wow. All right.
Now, how much do you think it would cost for a photo of Quaid and D'Angelo together?
Oof. I think you're probably at 250 there, if not 300.
230. 230. Right. Donna Mills.
Donna Mills. I'm going $95 for Donna Mills.
Very close. You hit 80. Garrett Morris.
Oh, Garrett Morris.
Yes. Saturday Night Live fame.
I'm going 75 for Garrett.
So close. 80.
Okay.
I don't have Huey Lewis's price. How much do you think Jerry the King Lawler?
Oh, Jerry the King. Fame? I guarantee that's got to be up there because he still feels he's a big name. I'm going 125.
$80. Joey Chestnut. What about Joey Chestnut?
Him, I'm thinking 110.
80. You're overshooting here. Lower it down a little bit.
Right.
Remember Louise Lasser?
Vaguely.
1970s TV show fame.
Then I gotta go 80 for that one also.
$70. Very close. Very close. Let's do one more and then let's move on. We will go Reginald Vell Johnson from Die Hard and Family Matters.
I'm thinking he's up there. I think he's over $100. I'd go 110 for him.
$80.
Really? Now Reginald, I think he's underpricing himself.
I would agree with you that I think he should be able to get more than that.
Now, what would a Reginald Randy Quaid photo run you? Because that would be a combo I'd like to see.
I don't know. I'm going to say probably 145.
There you go. Huey Lewis, 120 for a photo, 60 for an auto. That seems right to me. 120 for Huey Lewis.
Sounds about right.
That feels right.
I don't think he does these. I don't think he does these very often.
He's not there. I don't know about you. I don't know that I have a desire of hanging a photo of myself with a celebrity or an athlete in my house. Like there's not a value to me. I could almost see an autograph because I have some autographed memorabilia, a lot of my Yankee stuff. Like I would kill to get a Jeter autograph on my Yankees jersey from the last year of the old Yankee Stadium that I would hang up. But I don't know that I would necessarily hang up a photo of me and Derek Jeter.
No, correct. There's a lot of hero worship and memory what's the word I'm thinking of?
Nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia. That's the word. It's a lot of that. I just, a lot of people getting there being like, oh, I saw you, so many years ago, or, I loved when you did this movie. And you genuinely can see some celebrities who are engaging and are like, oh yeah, no, I really liked, making that movie because, over the years, at Chiller, we've worked, 1 year we sat next to Linda Blair, from The Exorcist, watching
Yep.
her interact. We sat next to Frank Vincent 1 year. I sat next to Marky Ramone. But you actually can see some people are truly into, that weekend where it's like, I'm just gonna interact with my friend. And you see some people who are just there to be like, all right, come on, next. Who's next? Come on.
What was the cost for a photo with 2 p.m. Billy? Because I understand that that window was a lot shorter than some of the other
So
photo ops.
small, so small. People were
Yeah.
lining up at 9 a.m. just to be, just to realize that in the time that they spent waiting for 2 p.m. Billy to show up, they could have flown from Aruba to Philadelphia and gotten their luggage.
Yep. 100%. All right. Well, big story this week. Aggressive monkeys loose in Mississippi. There was a truck that overturned on the interstate and released a pack of diseased lab primates. They were infected with COVID and multiple sexually transmitted diseases. The 40-pound monkeys carried COVID, hepatitis C, and herpes, and are, quote, aggressive to humans. First of all, don't know why we need to be infecting these poor monkeys with all these diseases. Number two, I would think we would transport them a little more safely, is my guess.
Now, my question to you, Ron, is why are you automatically assuming that man is infecting these monkeys with these diseases? And this is not just a case of these monkeys having loose morals, these monkeys
So they're
not
monkey whores, is
believing
what
it,
you're saying.
not understanding the value of a monogamous relationship, not using contraception that has been provided to them, and as such have allowed these STDs to get to them. I mean, we as humans, we were racked with COVID for years. I myself got about 8 different times. Is it not the monkey's turn?
I mean, I guess not. But it did say that these came from the Tulane National Biomedical Research Center.
Okay.
They do say that they do infect them, but the monkeys themselves are not infectious, which I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can have COVID and all these diseases and not be infectious. But it was reported earlier today that a Mississippi woman killed one of these escaped monkeys, fearing for her children's safety. Jessica Bond Ferguson said she was alerted early Sunday by her 16-year-old son, who said he thought he had seen a monkey running in the yard outside their home near Heidelberg, Mississippi. She got out of bed, grabbed her firearm, of course, and her cell phone, and stepped outside where she saw the monkey about 60 feet away.
Yeah, I think the phrase "I just saw a monkey running in the backyard" has been said many times in Mississippi, and let's be brutally honest, it makes me very uncomfortable.
She said, quote, "I did what any other mother would do to protect her children." She has 5 children ranging in age from 4 to 16. She told the Associated Press, "I shot at it and it just stood there, and I shot again and he backed up, and that's when he fell."
Ron, considering that she has 5 children and she's living in Mississippi, what are the odds that her SNAP benefits did not auto load on November 1st?
I mean, I would put that above average.
Okay, we will take those odds. I like what you're doing here.
So authorities have said that most of the 21 monkeys were killed. They did determine 3 monkeys have escaped. 1 is obviously down. The other 2 probably on their way to Hollywood to film the ultimate buddy movie.
Sure. Look, 2 p.m. Billy coming in with just a racist comment, just disgusting. I wish
a racist comment from somebody else, but I do remember that Howard Cosell comment.
Sure, Howard Cosell made the comment, but we don't have to keep bringing it up and highlighting it. Our producer Matt Beaker, Matt, if you're listening right now, please, I don't know why you clicked on that and put it up there. Don't put racist comments on the screen. We don't like it. It's not us. It's not what we want to promote.
No, not at all. Next up, Kash Patel, head of the FBI, a man who I have to assume has some sort of thyroid condition based on his eyes, which always seem to be bulging out. Maybe it's
Always
just
bulging. Yes.
always
Always
bulging
bulging.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so he's come out under fire recently for his use of the FBI's I guess private plane
Sure.
to go visit his girlfriend. Now apparently the FBI director is not allowed to fly commercial. That is a department policy, but people are questioning his use of it. So apparently out in State College, Pennsylvania this weekend, Brian, they had a pro wrestling card for that Real American Wrestling, the one that Hulk Hogan was involved with up until the time of his passing. And so apparently his girlfriend, whose name I forget, but we do have a photo of them right here. She was singing. She's a conservative country western quote unquote star. And she apparently was singing the national anthem. He flew out there. He was there for a few hours, then apparently flew to Nashville for some reason. People are assuming maybe he took his girlfriend with him because she performs in Nashville.
I bet she
but
performs.
But he is apparently upset that his MAGA cohorts are not defending his use of the FBI plane for this activity.
Well, I think he just assumes that anybody MAGA should be supporting him. Have you, or is it just my imagination? Have you or have you not read that she is suspected to be a Mossad agent?
Well, so there is apparently there's
a narrative here. I'm not.
No, I understand that. I actually can give you a little background on this. Is this information on the flight came out on a podcast of a gentleman by the name of Kyle Seraphin. He is a former FBI agent who started a podcast which is very critical of the current FBI leadership. Seraphin is also the individual that has made claims that she is a Mossad agent. After which she filed a lawsuit against him for defamation because of that.
Wouldn't that be why is it necessarily defamation? I mean, couldn't that be a
compliment? I guess because he's alleging that she might be a spy. Alexis Wilkins, that is her name. She's alleging that she might be one of these honeypots that we hear about, meant to infiltrate government institutes and whatnot. What is interesting, of course, is that Kash Patel in 2023 had a number of tweets being critical of the FBI director at that time for his use of the FBI plane.
Listen, to sit there and throw out the word hypocrite at any politician is just you're pissing in the wind here. And it's on both sides. This is not a Republican or Democrat issue. When the Democrats are in power, the Republicans will sit there and just bash any type of behavior by anybody in the government. And then conversely, when it is the Republicans that are in power, the Democrats will absolutely come out and bash him for the exact same behavior. The argument is, yes, he's the FBI director. If he wants to go to a certain event in Pennsylvania, shouldn't he be allowed to go? If he's not allowed to get in a car and drive, and I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to be provided government paid transportation. That's unavoidable. And I imagine that's been the case for years. Do I think that it's a bad look during a government shutdown that he's out there flying around, going to like Nashville and wrestling? Like, do I think that's a bad look? Yeah, absolutely. It's a bad look. But one of the things that's pissing me off is my federal taxes are being taken out. I'm not getting a discount. They're not charging me a pro rata portion of the part that the government, they're taking out 100% of my government taxes, and none of it's going to use right now, which I think is the strategy of Trump administration from the get-go.
Well, and now, I was overhearing a conversation at the resort from one of our military men that were down there who said that he has been advised that they may not receive their back pay once the
Sure.
shutdown is over, which he was not overly happy about.
I thought that I read this past week that there was a member of the Mellon family, not from Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School, Thornton Mellon, but a Mellon, one of the Mellon banking financial, where they were going to pay $130 million to pay for the armed troops.
I heard
we're now
that.
taking. Instead of having the federal government take care of its own obligations, now we're just openly saying, let the private sector pay for everything for the government. That, coincidentally, they're going to have some government work ahead of us that they're going to do for favor. Like it's there's so little shame going on right now.
Well,
and maybe it's
between
always
that and the donations for this huge ballroom that's
Sure.
supposedly being built, it feels a little dirty, a little yucky that these private corporations are ponying up millions of dollars. And again, obviously this stuff has always gone on. It's just more out in the light now than anything else.
Yeah. Where were these corporations when we were trying to build the wall? Why were these corporations not donating money to finish building the wall? But they want to build the east wing of the White House for a ballroom. What do we need a ballroom for? What do we need an east wing for? I don't even know what's in the east wing. But I don't know.
Apparently,
what we need
the Lincoln
a
toilet was there, which was very disturbing to the press secretary.
What do you mean by the Lincoln?
I don't know. She says something about a toilet in the Lincoln room wasn't up to code, so we had to knock down the entire east wing.
Oh, it's just whatever. It's upsetting. Ron, what are you watching?
What am I watching? Watched a lot this past week. Attempted to watch 2 movies on the flight. A Working Man, the latest Jason Statham film, and 28 Years Later. That was the third series, third movie in that zombie film. Couldn't get through either of them. Watched like 15, 20 minutes. And I will say this, I don't expect much from a Jason Statham film, but it was just even more formulaic than usual.
Well, I think we're gonna have to go after him. Do you know?
You can enable ChatGPT on your iPhone.
My phone just started talking for some reason.
Well, don't you know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna go in there and take care of all of them.
That's my.
I think everybody can do a Jason Statham.
Very good one.
I will say, did watch the new Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Possibly one of the worst movies I've seen in quite a long time.
Yeah.
I was so hopeful
that's a shame.
that it was going to be a good reboot, that it was going to be funny, because Liam Neeson does comedy. He's very good at it. Just a horrible script, a horrible movie. Also watched on Netflix a movie called A House of Dynamite. This is kind of a thriller drama. So the premise is that someone has launched a nuclear missile towards the United States. And it is basically the same story told from 3 different viewpoints. It starts off from one military base and tells a portion of the story, and then it jumps to like one of the security rooms in the White House and tells the story, and then it tells the story from the perspective of the president. The thing that is the most frustrating is it cuts off before you really get an answer to what happens. It's one of those type movies where it just kind of leaves you. It's got a lot of moral questions, and it just leaves you kind of hanging at the end.
Which is our promise. We will never end an episode on a cliffhanger like that. We will make sure that every episode wraps nice and clean in a bundle.
And also, I watched the documentary "Who Killed the Montreal Expos" also on Netflix. From those of us, fans of baseball, talk about how baseball basically died in Montreal, and the team was relocated to Washington to become the Washington Nationals. If you enjoy baseball, if you enjoy sports, great documentary, interesting. I don't think it doesn't. The nice thing too is it gives you a lot of culprits. It doesn't kind of say this person killed it.
Yeah.
I think it was a combination of things. But the one thing that you forget is they talk about that 94 Montreal Expos team, the team that had the best record in baseball. But that was also the year that we had the Major League Baseball strike, and the season was canceled, and the World Series was canceled. But you look at that 94 team, they had, Felipe Alou was managing the team. They had Larry Walker. They had Vlad Guerrero, Pedro Martinez, John Wetland before he came to the Yankees.
I didn't know
just
that.
a solid lineup, but awesome. And yes, I am sponsored by Netflix. I'm willing to sell out to anybody out there.
I would love to be smart. I would love that. I'll take a free Netflix.
And then I also just today watched the new Netflix documentary on Eileen Wuornos, American serial killer.
Well, and I saw that, just said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get anything new out of there, and decided not to watch it.
It was, I didn't know her story too much. I hadn't watched any of the movies or anything else. I think it was interesting because while, she was definitely a murderer and not a great person, it really gave you a look into her background, into her youth, and her mental illness. And it also really showed how the court system basically stacked things against her to ensure that they would get a conviction in the state of Florida.
Ron, the court system has been doing that to black males for 100 years. There is no reason why, as a white woman, she should have a different experience in our legal system than that of black men having an unfair ability to defend themselves. Why should she get a pass?
All right, Brian, what are you watching?
Oh, on Netflix, because Ron's sponsored by them, started watching a TV show called The Asset, which is originally a Danish series.
Okay.
It is dubbed. So for those people who can kind of get past looking at lips and trying to understand why the audio does not sync with the visual, it's a story of a police officer who goes undercover to try to take down he happens to appear to be Middle Eastern. I don't want to make this a racial thing.
Okay.
Take down a drug lord in Denmark. First off, it was just so nice to see the streets of Copenhagen again. Loyal listeners of the show remember I've spent some time in Copenhagen. Ron, I like to expand my cultural zones when I travel.
Sure. Understood.
It's not your thing. I get it. But it's so far, it's been a pretty good show. Knocked out a couple episodes earlier today. We're going to stick it out. Also, on Apple TV, finished watching the 5th season of Slow Horses, the show with Gary Oldman.
Oldman.
Oldman. I always fuck up his last name, but he's just such a solid actor. Supporting cast is good, but he really carries this thing on his shoulders.
Nice.
Short. This is the British way. 6-episode season. 6 episodes.
That's all
That's
I need.
it. They're not going to drag it out to 8 to 12. They're not going to go on random, side tangents, as some people have been known to do. But they just keep it. Also on Apple TV, pounded out another episode of The Last Frontier, the story in Alaska where the CIA gets involved in a prisoner plane that crashes. That's not great, but I've already watched enough episodes. I'm just going to stick it out. Seems very implausible. That's what I've been watching.
All right. Let's try and sneak a few more stories in here before we wrap up. Brian, I know you always like stories that reflect Pennsylvania in a bad light. And this is
Sure.
no different, where a Pennsylvania diocese has apologized for a shocking grade school Halloween parade float that displayed a replica of the Auschwitz concentration camp gate. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Harrisburg formally apologized Friday for the offensive float's appearance during Thursday evening's Halloween parade. Bishop Timothy Sr. said he was, quote, shocked and appalled to learn the float entered by the St. Joseph Catholic School in Hanover, which resembled the Auschwitz concentration camp gate, included the words Arbeit macht frei, which is a German phrase translating to work makes you free. This was prominently displayed at World War II era concentration camps across Europe, including the front gate at Auschwitz, where more than 1 million people were executed. The U.S. Holocaust Museum notes that the phrase was used to mock the largely Jewish populations the Nazis sentenced to back-breaking forced labor. Senior said the float's approved design did not contain the gate imagery, but recognized, quote, it does not change the fact that this highly recognizable symbol of hate was included.
What
Not quite
fuck?
sure the mindset. I mean, yes,
fuck?
that's a better way to put it.
I'm not sure this is funny, but okay.
So I don't.
Just what the fuck? What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
I mean, what would you? Why would you have that gate there? Why would you be on the float? Why would someone be standing at the float? Billy said a few photos were taken with the guy by the gate. I guess maybe 2 p.m. Billy. Maybe that's why he was late. He was doing that.
Unbelievable.
Horrible story. And then this too. This is another horrible story. I gotta hit the wrong button. Matt, get your shit together. So this, Brian, we are going over to, because I know you're such an international traveler. Going over to Dąbrowa in Poland's Podkarpacie region, where a rumor was spread on Facebook saying that a farmer was giving away his potatoes. By sunrise, 150 tons of his potatoes had disappeared. The former, identified only as Pietra, had just finished harvesting and storing his crop when the rumor took off online. The post said that he couldn't find buyers and wanted locals to help themselves. By the time he returned to his field, the ground was nearly bare. He told a local news organization, quote, I was shocked. I'm 68 years old and I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Crowds from nearby villages came with bags, buckets, and even farm trailers. Some took small amounts, others loaded up to tons at a time. Some people brought potatoes back when they heard that the story was false, but he did lose most of his crop.
Jesus, that is strange. Why? Who wants potatoes?
Who doesn't want potatoes?
I'll have a potato or two, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, I assume if you steal like 20 tons of potatoes, you can then turn around and sell them to somebody. Like, I assume somebody's going to try and make money off of this.
I would imagine so. The farmer's not making any money. We know that.
You know who doesn't make any money, Brian? Us. We don't make any money because we put money back into the podcast. But you can support us by becoming a Patreon supporter. Go to cultofronandbrian.com. Sign up for a monthly subscription. If you sign up at the $10 level or higher, you get access to our live After Dark episode, which will be taking place tonight at 9:30. We have our monthly pajama party. We had to delay it a week. Normally we do it the last Sunday of the month, but we pushed it till tonight. It is a 1-hour episode. We let our Patreon subscribers join us, and we have a trivia contest tonight. It is Can You Beat Ron? So I will be attempting to defend the honor of the podcast one more time. Brian, I hear you've got quite the quiz set up for all of us tonight.
Got a game. Let's see how it goes. I usually fuck up the game somehow, and we'll just see how it goes. Is really all I can say.
I mean, you're fairly consistent with screwing something up. So I have hope. My faith is with you.
Hurtful.
I was just agreeing with you. I mean, that was the
No.
comment that you made.
Nope. Not even playing
right.
along. Not even playing along.
All right, that's fine. You don't have.
You know who's going to be playing along? Our Patreons when they join our After Dark game.
Very good. Anything else, Brian, before we wrap this up and get ready for this After
Not at
Dark
all.
episode?
Great to be back. Great to do the show.
Oh, we
Great to
didn't.
be able to spend
We
an
didn't
hour
even
with
talk
you.
about what you're watching. We didn't talk about Game 7 of the World Series. What? I mean, what a series, number one.
What a game.
As a
We
Yankees
also have
fan,
to do locks of the week before, not to change the
my
subject.
God.
We didn't do locks of the week.
All right, let's knock out some locks.
No. Let's talk the game. Do Yankees.
Right.
Let's talk about the baseball game. Game 7 is always just a anytime there's a game 7. Two teams onto the field. One team advances to glory. One team gets sent home. Their season comes to an end. To happen in a World Series, to happen where the game 7. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm
paying attention. I'm having some
microphone?
issues over here.
No.
You're fine.
You're having issues. Okay. Anybody in the chat? William Esquire. Has there ever been a extra inning game 7 of the World Series? Just the stress level I was going through listening to the game. It was just
it was over 100 years, I think
me.
they said on TV. It's been over 100 years since an extra inning game 7. Stressful, like you said. I mean, the both in the 9th and 10th.
Both teams had chances.
Yeah, both teams had chances. As a Yankees fan, worst case scenario, Blue Jays and Dodgers. Can't stand either team. I ran into when I was in Aruba, ran into someone who was rooting for the Dodgers. I was like, understandably, I can't root for the Dodgers. And they were like, "Oh, are you still bitter over last year?" I'm like, "Last year, I'm still bitter over 1981. Don't fuck last year. I'm still upset about that."
Yeah, no, fuck that. 1981. Yeah, it still pisses me off.
I think what hurt the most, why I kind of wanted Toronto Blue Jays to win, was Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, 42 years as a player, coach, and manager. His first World Series ever. I saw a video of him just sitting in the dugout after the game, after the loss. Just felt heartbroken for the guy.
Understood. And I'm going to tell you this. The very concept that Donnie Baseball is got that close to get his World Series ring, not in a Yankee uniform, is criminal to me. And I did not want him to get it because I want him to get his World Series ring wearing a Yankees uniform. The Steinbrenners need to hire him in some capacity. The very fact that Donnie Baseball is in Toronto, to me, is just a violation of everything that the Yankee organization stood for. We need to do something about it.
Understood. Well, let's not delay too longer. Let's get to our NFL locks of the week.
Locks.
Brian, great performance by you again last week. 2-0, going to 18-0 on the regular season. How the hell do you do it?
Listen, Ron, I cannot help it. These games are just so easy. 2-0, it's child's play to me. And just the fact that I sit here across from you, you are also 18-0 for the season. You went 2-0 in week 9. You saw the Jaguars -3 over the Raiders. You sat there and said, there is no way the Jaguars are going to be covering this on the road. Let's go to the Raiders with the points. Jaguars only win by 1. You read that one pretty well. Chargers -4.5 over the Titans. Chargers win by 7. Ron, extending your unbeaten streak this season. How do you do it?
Listen, you push me. You looked at that Indy line -1.5 versus Pittsburgh. You said, you know what? I love Danny Dimes, but I think this is the game they get tripped on. Sure enough, Pittsburgh wins it. And then San Francisco -3 against the Giants. They win by 10. Just another amazing performance. But tell me what your NFL locks of the week are for next week.
Next week, week 10, just inching closer to the Super Bowl and our annual Super Bowl bet to determine who is the podcast champion for 2026. My picks this week, I've got the Bears -3 over the Giants. I don't think the Giants are capable of winning a game for the rest of the season. Also, I've got the Seahawks -6 over the Cardinals.
All right.
Ron, what do you got?
This is my riskiest leap of the season. I'm going with 2 underdogs. I'm going for those Jacksonville Jaguars again, +3 at Houston Texans, and I'm going for Minnesota Vikings +4 at home versus Baltimore. As always, folks, bet with your head, not over it.
And I think that wraps it up for this week.
That wraps up episode 377. Thank you all for joining us. Patreon folks, we'll see you in about 20 minutes. Everybody else, we will see you next Sunday night.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.